The year is 2342. Technology reigns supreme. Genetic manipulation is commonplace, altering the very fabric of society. Crimes of passion, however, remain a dark stain on this seemingly perfect world. Ethan, a young man barely out of his teens, stands accused of a most heinous crime, the murder of his parents. The evidence is irrefutable, his guilt undeniable, leaving no room for doubt. The courtroom, a sterile chamber of chrome and glass, reflects the coldness of the proceedings, devoid of any warmth or empathy. The sentence, a foregone conclusion, is delivered with mechanical precision.
Gone are the days of lethal injections and electric chairs, relics of a more barbaric past. In this society, they punish with genetic manipulation, a method both advanced and controversial. The goal, to eradicate criminal tendencies, to rewrite the very essence of a person, transforming them from within. To some, it is the ultimate rehabilitation, a chance at a new beginning, free from past mistakes. To others, it is a chilling violation, a world where free will bends to the will of the state, raising ethical questions.
The judge, her face etched with the weariness of countless trials, delivers the verdict with a heavy heart. Guilty. Ethan feels a wave of dizziness wash over him, the weight of his fate pressing down. He is sentenced to genetic modification, his fate sealed by the cold hand of justice. His past deeds will be erased, his future rewritten, a new identity forged. But at what cost? The price of such transformation remains a haunting question. The process is swift, sterile, and terrifying. Ethan is strapped to a cold metallic table, his body a canvas for the geneticist's manipulations. They inject him with a cocktail of serums, a concoction designed to rewrite his very being. He screams, a primal cry against the invasion, but his voice is lost in the whirring of machines.
Days turn into weeks, weeks bleed into months. I exist in a haze of pain and disorientation. The world outside fades away, replaced by the cold, sterile reality of the laboratory. I remember flashes of my past, the love of my parents, the warmth of their embrace. But these memories are like fading photographs, their edges blurring, their colors draining away.
He emerges from the process a changed man. His violent tendencies, the rage that had consumed him, are gone, erased like lines on a chalkboard. He is left with a void, an emptiness where his anger once resided. The state calls it rehabilitation. Ethan calls it oblivion.
Released back into society, Ethan is a man without a past, a ghost in his own life. He is assigned a caseworker, a woman named Sarah, whose job is to help him reintegrate into a world that no longer remembers him. He finds work as a gardener, tending to plants with a tenderness that belies his past.
The world treats me with a mixture of curiosity and fear. People whisper behind my back, their eyes filled with a mixture of pity and suspicion. I am a constant reminder of the state's power, a walking testament to the consequences of transgression. But there are moments when I glimpse hope. I find solace in the quiet beauty of nature, in the rhythm of the seasons. I start to believe, however tenuously, that redemption might be possible.
Anya enters his life like a ray of sunshine piercing through the clouds. She is a teacher at a local school, her eyes filled with a warmth that Ethan craves. She sees past the stigma, past the label of rehabilitated criminal, and recognizes the flicker of humanity that still burns within him.
Their love blossoms slowly, tentatively. Anya helps Ethan confront his past, to come to terms with the void that the genetic modification has left behind. She teaches him about forgiveness, about the possibility of finding light even in the darkest of places.
For the first time since my trial, I feel truly alive. I dare to hope for a future where love and happiness might be possible.
Section 5. Echoes of the Past, Lily's trial.
Our happiness was shattered with the arrival of a police officer at our doorstep. My heart plummeted to my stomach. I knew, even before the officer uttered a word, that my past had come back to haunt me.
His daughter Lily, his beautiful, vibrant daughter, had been arrested for assault.
Dad,
The courtroom, a chilling echo of his own trial, spun around him. Lily, her face pale and drawn, looked so much like he did all those years ago. The evidence was damning. The prosecution painted a picture of a young girl consumed by an uncontrollable rage, a rage that mirrored her father's past.
I wanted to scream, to rage against the injustice of it all, but I knew, with a sinking heart, that the cycle had repeated itself.
Section 6. The sins of the father, genetic inheritance or societal failure. This question has haunted humanity for generations, and now it takes center stage in a courtroom drama that has captivated the nation. The trial becomes a media frenzy. The public is divided, with heated debates erupting on social media and in living rooms across the country. Some believe Lily is a victim of her father's past, a living testament to the dangers of genetic inheritance. They argue that her actions are not her own, but rather the inevitable result of a genetic time bomb ticking away inside her. Others argue that she is a product of her environment, a child failed by a system that never truly addressed the root causes of her aggression. They point to the lack of support and resources that could have steered her life in a different direction.
I had convinced myself that the genetic modification had erased my past, that my sins would not be visited upon my daughter. I believed science had given us a clean slate. But now, as I watch Lily crumble under the weight of judgment, I'm forced to confront the possibility that some things cannot be erased, that the past has a way of reaching out from beyond the grave. The burden of my mistakes feels heavier than ever.
Ethan is torn. He sees the split image. On one side, a news report showing Lily's face with the caption, "Genetic Time Bomb." The media's portrayal only adds to his inner turmoil. On the other side, a protest with people holding signs saying "Justice for Lily" and "Break the Cycle." The public's outcry reflects a deeper societal struggle, one that questions whether we can ever truly break free from the chains of our past. Section 7. The Price of Peace, a society tamed or enslaved. The trial forces society to confront uncomfortable truths about its own nature. Is genetic modification the answer to crime, or is it a dangerous tool that threatens the very fabric of humanity? Is peace achievable at the cost of free will? Is a society that eradicates its problems rather than addressing them truly a just and equitable one?
I witnessed the debate rage on. My own anguish a microcosm of the larger societal struggle. I see the fear in people's eyes, the desperation to believe that there is a simple solution to complex problems. But I also see the glimmers of hope, the voices raised in defense of compassion and understanding. The question is, which side will prevail?
The future of society hangs in the balance as these debates rage on, with Ethan caught in the middle, representing both the problem and the potential for a solution. Section 8. The burden of choice, playing God, or abdicating responsibility. This is a question that has haunted humanity for generations, and it becomes even more pressing in our technologically advanced society. The jury reaches a verdict: guilty. The weight of this decision is felt by everyone in the room, a collective gasp, echoing through the courtroom. Ethan's heart breaks all over again. The pain is almost unbearable, a sharp reminder of the consequences of choices made long ago. As Lily is led away, her eyes meet his, and in that brief exchange he sees a reflection of his own despair, his own sense of helplessness. It's a moment that will be etched in his memory forever.
The true tragedy is not just the cycle of violence, but the arrogance of a society that believes it has the right to play God. We tamper with the very fabric of life, often without fully understanding the consequences. The genetic modification, once hailed as a miracle of science, now feels like a curse. What was meant to be a gift has turned into a burden, a double-edged sword that cuts both ways. It has brought me both salvation and damnation, offering me a chance at redemption, while simultaneously condemning my daughter to repeat my mistakes. The irony is almost too much to bear. Is it better to have the freedom to choose, even if it means choosing wrongly, or to have that choice taken away, even if it means living a life devoid of true freedom. This is the paradox we face.
The tears in her eyes are not just for herself, but for the future that has been stolen from her. She is a victim of choices made by others, choices that have shaped her destiny.
Ethan is left with a haunting question, one that echoes in the halls of the courtroom and in his heart. Can we ever truly escape the consequences of our actions, or are we forever bound by them? Section 9. A future unwritten redemption or doom. The future stretches before Ethan, uncertain and full of shadows. He is left to grapple with the consequences of his actions, the ripple effects of his past spreading out like waves in a still pond.
I know that the fight is not over, that the battle for Lily's soul has just begun. I will spend every waking moment fighting for her redemption, for a future where the sins of the father are not visited upon the child.
But the larger question remains, what will become of humanity in this brave new world where genes dictate destiny? Will we find redemption in our pursuit of genetic perfection? Or will we create a dystopian future where the very essence of our humanity is sacrificed on the altar of progress? The answer, like the future itself, remains unwritten.